Let's talk a little Miami Hurricanes recruiting. The Canes are heating up on the recruiting trail. Mario Cristobal has them poised for another top 10 class, maybe top 5. And things are heating up between Jackson Cantwell and the Canes as well. Cantwell, the number 1 overall prospect offensive tackle out of Missouri. Steve, he recently named a top 6. Georgia, Miami, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio State, and Oregon. But the Canes are kind of surging here. What's the latest?
Well, they're a program that we really saw rise during the fall when he made it down to South Florida for a game visit to Miami. Loves the emphasis of offensive line within the program and the chemistry that Coach Cristobal and Coach Mirabal have together. And he's coming back for a spring visit to continue learning more about Miami. Miami is a program that made the top 6, but I would not have put them at the top of the top 6. But there's a lot of runway for the Hurricanes to make a move here with a spring practice visit, continuing to build those relationships with the staff, then a return for an official visit in the summer before he makes his decision before his senior season. So Jackson Cantwell is going to get back to some of these schools that he hasn't been to as much as the others. So he's going to go to Miami, then he's going to fly up and hit Ohio State and then Michigan again before returning back home and continuing his focus on winning another national championship in the shot put. He set the sophomore national record in the shot put last year while winning the high school national championship overall. He finished 4th in the discus, Josh, setting a sophomore national record at the time, but finished 4th in the overall. He's got the indoor national championships in New York before he will head down to Miami, then up to Michigan and Ohio State. Miami trying to head up in this recruitment, and they're going to get an opportunity to continue that trajectory here in the spring.
Yeah, and this is a vital visit for the Canes because, like you said, he made that visit during the season, and it went really well. He had a lot of great things to say about Mario Cristobal and his staff, but if you don't see him make it back in the spring, then this recruitment might get away from Miami, but they got him back, and they'll probably get him in for an official, so things are heading in the right direction. Speaking about the right direction, another top prospect locks in a visit this spring. Number 6 running back Javian Osborne out of Forney, Texas. Where do the Canes stand with him?
Well, similar to Jackson Cantwell, I think they're trying to move up the list. Michigan, Texas, those are programs that have been very prominent in his recruitment. Georgia is one that is on the rise after a visit earlier this year. But Miami's been recruiting him hard. He talked about the coaches in the environment. He feels like he can thrive in the offense that they have at Miami. And he talked about Matt Merritt, the position coach, a guy that could be developed by one of the best. He pointed to Matt Merritt, that's kind of reputation that he has with Javian Osborne. He also likes the emphasis of the offensive line on the program from the head coach. Mario Cristobal said that's a recipe for success. So Miami's in the middle of this one. We'll see what happens after that official visit. We'll see if they can get him there in the spring, similar to Cantwell, ahead of these official visits. He's got Michigan planned at the end of June. They're certainly at the top of his list. Texas is a program he's always been high on. He'll be back there in June. And then SMU in May is another visit on his itinerary.
All right, well, we can't talk Miami without talking Jaelen Waters. One of the top prospects in the state of Florida has been committed to Florida State. Then in June, he committed to the Gators. Over the weekend, he decommitted, and he is currently trending to the Canes. Can the Canes land Waters' 3rd commitment of this cycle?
No question. They're the program trending. That was the buzz at the Battle South Florida 7-on-7 event in January. And with this decommitment from Florida, it was easy to log an on-3 RPM in favor of Miami to give the current pulse on this recruitment. But this has obviously been a recruitment that's been very fluid. So I don't know if you even want his commitment right now. You certainly wouldn't say no to it. Jaelen Waters has got some high upside physical traits from the size, length, speed, change of direction, ability, a tenacious football player out there on the perimeter. But these programs have been very, what's the word, Josh? He's been
easily swayed.
Swayed, or well, that's not the right word, influenced or what have you. You know, obviously these programs have been able to make an impact on him with each visit. You're a Florida native. Have you seen a prospect be committed to all 3 of the big 3 at any point in their process?
I've seen it a few times, and being from the state of Florida, having been out at some of these spring practices and things of that such, one of the sayings that you'll hear on the sidelines from college coaches is when you hear a guy, oh, he's committed to so-and-so, the coach will look at him and say, well, I'm trying to get his third commitment. Because they know that these guys in Florida kind of bounce around, and one commitment generally doesn't do it for some of the top players in the state of Florida. They want their third commitment. So Jaelen Waters getting close to hitting on that third commitment.